All right. I see the recordings in process. Why don't we start, and when she's and hopefully she'll join us soon.
Yeah, I'll text her also.
Thanks, Matt. Thanks for doing that. So are we ready to begin, County Manager?
We are set to go, madam.
All right, I appreciate that very much. And good evening, members of the public. Thank you for joining us here this evening on our third public meeting that we are having for discussion with the board on our possible scenarios for the Board of Supervisors redistricting. My name is Patrice Horseman. I am the supervisor for District 1. I'm also chair of the Coconino County Board of Supervisors. And with me are my colleagues, and I'm going to have them introduce themselves very briefly. This is a listening session. We are here to listen and get your comments, but I know my colleagues are wanting to say hello as well. So Vice Chair Vasquez.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jeronimo Vasquez, Supervisor for District 2, and thank you for being here tonight.
And District 3.
All right, am I unmuted? Yes, I am. Hello, everybody. I'm Matt Ryan, District 3, which is southwestern Flagstaff, Sedona, Williams, I-17 and 89A corridor, and parks.
Thanks, Supervisor Ryan. And District number 4.
Good evening, everyone. Glad that you're on the call, and also the administration. I just wanted to say that I'm oversee District 4, which composes of the northeast side of the county. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Supervisor Begay. And this is, as I said, a public meeting for input on the 5 possible redistricting scenarios. As you know, every 10 years, we have a census in this country. Immediately thereafter, it's important for us to review and take a look at our district boundaries, both statewide, nationwide, and also even our local districts. And if in fact there is a population growth in some areas of the district, but not in other areas of the district, we need to take a close look and decide whether we need to reapportion these districts in order to have districts that have a substantially similar population. The law and our mandates here for the Board of Supervisors is that the population must be within a 5% deviation plus or minus from the mean or median population for our county. We do have 5 scenarios. All of these scenarios do in fact meet the population requirements of the plus or minus 5%. But these 5 scenarios each have different districts or have drawn different boundaries for the districts that do affect each of our districts. So we have online maps. These are interactive maps for you to be able to view and to take a look at. And now is the time for us to hear from you. The board will be in a listening mode only. We are not here to answer questions. We, the board, are not here to offer our comments at this time. In fact, however, we have the experts with us. We have our staff. They are here to answer any of your questions. And of course, the board is here to hear your comments. We hope Supervisor Fowler from District 5 will join us during the course of the hearing. And as you know, you will all have an opportunity to go online at the link that has been set on the county website and provide your written comments. All written comments and copies of the written comments have been provided to the board members, as well as they are available for public view. So all comments may be viewed by members of the public as well. We have, as a board, developed criteria for redistricting. This criteria is also consistent with the law for redistricting. And these guidelines are what we will look at when we, the board, make the decision on redistricting and on the maps for our 5 supervisory districts. And those guidelines are as follows. The district must be, as I've said, of approximately substantially equal population with a plus or minus 5% standard deviation. Number 2, that the new districts may not dilute the voting strength of a language or a minority group. Number 3, to preserve communities of interest. Number 4, that are compact and contiguous districts that do not split voting precincts. And number 5, maintain traditional geographic and political boundaries. Number 6, maintain the existing districts to the extent possible. Number 7, consider the current incumbents' residents. And lastly, do not create a substantial long-term negative effect. At this point, I am going to turn this over to our county manager, Steve Peru. He will introduce our county staff, and they will make a presentation about our 5 maps. And at that time or thereafter, we would love to hear your comments. And again, thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here this evening. And we so appreciate your input and your comments. So take it away, Steve.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As Chair indicated, we have county staff accompanying me this evening to provide some information to you during this public hearing. I'm going to introduce Sue Brown, our Deputy County Manager, will be also providing information to you. So cameras up. Hi, Sue. And then also Claire Harper from the County Manager staff, of course, has been facilitating the technology part of it. We have Trey Williams, Public Affairs Director for Coconino County. Hi, Trey. And then we also have Nate Wren, GIS team, who has been masterful in getting our scenarios put together. Then also Corey Ringenberg from the County Manager staff also helping tonight. So again, we're well staffed to provide this information to you. I'm going to share my screen just to make sure you can see my screen. I'm going to just do a real quick check. So are you able to see my screen?
Yes, we can,
Okay,
Steve.
great. So quickly, the agenda for this evening, the chair has provided opening comments, and I will provide a couple slides on the legal framework, chronology, and background of the process. We'll go over again the mapping guidelines that were adopted by the supervisors in 2021. And then we'll go through the process of describing the scenarios to you. And Sue Brown and Nate Wren will be doing that part of it. Reviewing another mention that public comments, and we'll show the website location where public comments can be viewed. Again, everything that we do receive through the public portal is shared with the board as well, but they're also posted. So I'll be able to show you where those comments are located. And then, of course, the most important part of the evening, of course, is to hear from you all that are here tonight as our guests. And with that, we'll provide a quick slide on how to get our attention so that you can provide that comment. So I'll proceed with that. Background information: the Board of Supervisors are responsible for creating the districts pursuant to guidelines that are established by both state and federal law. In addition to the Community College Board of Supervisors, the Community College District Governing Board, rather, does share the exact same boundaries as Coconino County Board of Supervisors, and so that's important. 2020 population, 145,101, and we do the math from the 5 districts, and we arrive at a target population of 29,020. And then when we divide that, we do have the 5% standard deviation plus or minus, and so the max population for districts is 30,471, and then the smallest or the minimum range is 27,569. And so again, that is that range that we must be able to draw our boundaries within. Chronology of events: September 2021, final data released by the United States Census Bureau. I will say that as everything that we've known to happen, COVID did impact the release of this information. And so the census process was delayed considerably, which also delayed the delivery of the data to the county. Again, in September 21, the board did make adjustments to precinct boundaries to streamline the administration of election for 2022. And this is based on legal requirements in the Arizona revised statutes. And so this re-precincting for administration of election had to take place before October 1st of last year. Then at the same time, you'll all recall that while the county was gearing up to do their redistricting process, the state of Arizona was embarking on their redistricting process through the Independent Redistricting Commission. And since a lot of the work that the Independent Redistricting Commission did have in terms of precinct boundaries, we paused our county process because with the state process happening, congressional and legislative lines, once they are drawn, they do have an impact at the local level. And so they will have the effect of splitting precincts and making other adjustments again, because once those lines are set and adopted, then we must adhere to those as well. And so during this period of time from October through December, we paused our redistricting activities, and then we did resume in January 2022. We resumed with the review and revision of scenarios based on some of the changes that we received as a result of the IRC process. In February of 2022, the board adjusted precinct boundaries to reflect the adopted IRC legislative district lines, as I just indicated. March 2022, where we're at today, we're providing public hearing, virtual public hearings to get input from the public on the mapping scenarios. And then all of this will culminate into a decision that the board will be making on April 12th of 2022. More background, as I said, redistricting occurs every 10 years. The census data is used by states to create legislative congressional districts, and then counties also utilize county level data to create redistricting plans that comply with constitutional and federal mandates. And I've already indicated that the community college also shares the boundaries that the county board does as well. Arizona state law, ARS 212, the Board of Supervisors shall meet at the county seat on or before December 1st, following the release of the decennial census to divide the county into 3 or 5 supervisorial districts, as provided by in this article. And then we number them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Some of the counties in Arizona are small enough; they do have 3 members. Coconino County has 5. I highlighted December 1st because in a normal year, if we had not had COVID and if we had not had the delay of the census process, this would have taken all place by December 1st of 2021. And so all of these actions that we're talking about tonight, including the IRC work at the state and the legislative level, or the state and the congressional level, would have been done by December 1st. However, as a result of COVID, all of the processes have been delayed, as I've already indicated. At the federal level, of course, the important principle of one person, one vote, the Equal Protection Clause demands no less than substantially equal state legislative representation for all citizens of all places, as well as all races. By holding that as a federal constitutional requisite, both houses of the state legislature must be apportioned on a population basis, meaning that the Equal Protection Clause requires that a state make an honest and good faith effort to construct districts in both houses of its legislature, again, as nearly of equal population as practical. And so the requirements that apply at the state level also apply at the local level. And that's why we emphasize the equal population within the districts, although we do have that 5% standard deviation. The Voting Rights Act, and I'm going to refer to Section 5 first and then go to Section 2. So Section 5 was enacted to freeze any changes in election practices in covered jurisdictions, and Arizona and Coconino County is a covered jurisdiction until the proposed changes were determined to have neither discriminatory purpose or effect. And as I said, Arizona and Coconino County is a covered jurisdiction. And so what this meant for us prior to shall be taking place is that all of the changes that we undertook at the local level, and redistricting would be one of those, had to be submitted to the Department of Justice, and then they would analyze the data that we submitted, and then they would determine again if it was okay or approved or worthy of being pre-cleared, which is another word for approved. So the Department of Justice in the past would do all of this as a matter of the process. However, the Shelby County litigation led to the Supreme Court determining that covered jurisdictions, or the concept or the process to determine covered jurisdictions, was unconstitutional. So as a result of that, counties, and in particular Coconino County and others, were not required to submit our proposed plans and any changes related to elections. We did not have to provide those to the Department of Justice for review. However, the Voting Rights Act Section 2 does apply, as other portions of the act do apply to states and counties and cities. So no voting qualification or prerequisite to voting or standard practice or procedure shall be imposed or applied by any state or political subdivision to deny or abridge the right of any citizen of the United States to vote on account of race or color. And so Section 2, we abide by that. And so while we don't have to pre-clear it anymore, we still, of course, as a political subdivision of the state of Arizona and county, that's what counties are, we must abide by the Voting Rights Act. Guidelines for redistricting, and we have used the guidelines that were adopted and pre-cleared by the Department of Justice back in 2011, and this is the actual agenda item from that period of time. And so we know that they've been pre-cleared in the past by the Department of Justice, and so that provided us, of course, the assurance that applying them in 2021, even though they were not needed to be pre-cleared, we knew that Justice had pre-cleared this in the past. And so again, draw districts of equal population based on census data to ensure one person, one vote. A deviation from that standard by 5% is permitted, but less deviation is better. Do not dilute the voting strength of racial and language minority groups. Preserve the ability of majority and minority districts to elect representatives of their choice. When considering the ability of districts to elect minority representatives, the voting age population should be considered rather than just the population numbers. And of course, we do use the map voting age population in our analysis. Preserving communities of interest. And this is an important consideration. And so the definition of communities of interest is very simple. It's basically a group of individuals that coalesce around common issues, occurrences, events within their community. It's vaguely, it's very loosely defined in order for it to be very flexible. And that was the intent of it. It would be very flexible. It could be applied in a number of different ways. And so community of interest is a broad definition intentionally. Number 4, districts must be compact and contiguous. And then, of course, using census block boundaries as district boundaries and do not split voting precincts. And that's been an important, of course, requirement that we've abided by, that we've not split precincts. However, in the case of legislative or congressional lines, they did split precincts, and that is okay when that happens, but we at the local level, with our guidelines, we do not do that. Maintaining traditional geographic communities is important and features, and so that's number 5. And then 6, do not create a substantial long-term negative effect on a specific political party. Political parties should have a fair chance to influence the political process. 7, base the new plan on existing districts to the extent possible. And then finally, when drawing district boundaries, take into account current incumbents. Mapping, of course, our mapping, all of our mapping or redistricting information is on our website, and we invite everyone to go to coconino.az.gov/redistricting, and you'll find a really excellent internet site that provides a lot of different information. I'll come back to that in a moment. Public comment. So when we do open up the public comment portion of this evening, you can use the raise hand function on Zoom, and it's down below, and you'll be able to do that very easily. If you're on the phone, you can press *9, and we'll be able to ask you to unmute yourself. When you do address the group and share your thoughts, please state your full name and address, and then we would ask that your comments be limited to 3 minutes. And then, of course, you can anytime we can provide information or input or comments through our website and our email address of redistricting at coconino.az.gov. And the April 12th date, that is, of course, when the board will be meeting that evening to consider scenarios and make decisions or approve a mapping scenario, if you will. And so we will be receiving public comments up until that date and time. And of course, the final redistricting session that we're scheduled is on March 29th at 2 p.m. And then again, the comments can be submitted to our website. We also have all of the sessions that we've had, the sessions that we've held in terms of the public comment. Those are on YouTube, and we do have a playlist 2022 Supervisory Redistricting. So you can go back and replay all the information if you want to just rehear that for references. Again, please visit our website and send us your comments. And I want to very quickly, if I could, and I don't want to get too bogged down on this, but I want to show if this works.
Well, Madam Chair, while Steve's at it, I was able to make contact with Supervisor Fowler. She had an item that came up that she really needed to attend to, sending her regrets. She attended past meetings and intends to attend the next meeting as well on this, and we'll follow up and see the Zoom on it.
Thank you,
Madam.
Supervisor Ryan. Appreciate the update.
Okay, very good. So I'm going to unshare my screen, but it's the website. You'll be able to see all of the information. And I want to go back to the website, but I think it's important that we go follow up with our public comment period, and then I will finish up with a little bit of a tour of the website. So I'm going to stop my share. And of course, and let me go back to, so this is the opportunity to share your thoughts and comments, and I'm going to act as your facilitator of sort. And we do have a couple of hands raised. I'm going to go first, go to Leonard Gorman, who has his hand raised. And Mr. Gorman, you can go ahead and if you're unmute yourself, but you can go ahead and share your thoughts, sir.
Thank you very much for allowing me to speak. My name is Leonard Gorman. And our office, the Office of Navajo Nation Human Rights Commission, is delegated the responsibility to participate in redistricting activities on behalf of the Navajo Nation, Navajo voters. With the limited time, my office submitted a map today, and the shape files have been submitted, and comments accompanying the shape files and the data also, and a PDF form of the map. Just a comment on the side regarding your mapping activities. There are some places which the census blocks are different than the application that I have. And then secondly, I asked for the shape files for all of the different plans that are on your website. I was offered, I think, a compilation of the combined one shape file for all the plans. It doesn't work for me that way.
Okay, Mr. Gorman, you know, I made a mistake, obviously. I just jumped right to public comment, but we're going to go through we're going to take a few minutes to describe the mapping scenarios. And so it was my mistake, and I apologize.
Yeah, we haven't opened up public comment yet. Aren't we going to go into the 5 different maps?
That's what I just said.
Okay, good.
We're going to do that right now. And I jumped the gun, and I apologize for that. And so at this point in time, Mr. Gorman, we'll get back to you, but we do want to go back to description of the scenarios. And so again, I apologize for the mistake. And I'm going to turn it over to Sue and to Nate to go through this process.
Thank you, Steve. Nate, can you share your screen? And folks, what we'll be going to is the site at coconino.az.gov/redistricting. This is what you will see when you go to that link. And what we have here are several tabs at the top. We'll kind of go through so you can be familiar with how to use the site. and do your own looking around, but we'll go through each one of the scenarios for you and show you how it works. The first tab is the current county supervisor boundaries. So you'll see as Nate uses his cursor and he hovers over certain things, you can see it pulls up information. There you have District 4 with the 2010 census population, the 2020 census population, the population difference, that's in total numbers, and then the percentage difference. And then it again lists the required population and why we're here for redistricting for District 4. Thanks, Nate. And you want to go over to the demographics. Then you can go over to this nice demographics table, hit that corner, that upper right corner, and you see the specifics on population for the districts on the far left-hand corner. This is a really good place to start because when you look at the scenarios, the first place that we'll go is going to be to this far left-hand column to make sure each one of the districts meets the population target. That's our first test. So you can see in a couple of cases, District 1 and District 3 are overpopulated, and District 2 is within population targets, and District 4 and District 5 in the current supervisory districts are underpopulated. So that's why we're here. We're here to do redistricting to make all of those populations within the target numbers. The next column over on the demographics page is total population by district. And please note the long vertical lines, they show you on there where the bars were as you go through the scenarios. So this is where they are now, and then they'll move when they go through the scenarios, and you'll be able to test against where they are now. Then you see in the next third column, the total voting population by race, and that's for each one of the districts. And then the final column is registered voters by party affiliation for each one of the districts. Again, this particular page is for what it is currently. Thanks, Nate. And again, a handy dandy tool. Nate, can you go down? This one does not show the guidelines, does it? I guess the first scenario will. So we'll go to scenario C to begin. Okay, first thing to note, and you'll see this on each one of the scenarios, is what are the rules for redistricting? And this is a big one, especially as you're looking, does this work? Does this work? You want to reference these often. First, they have equal population plus or minus 5%. That's a target population. Does it fit in the district population target? Then there's the target numbers again. You want to preserve communities of interest, be based on existing districts, remain compact and contiguous, maintain traditional boundaries, account for current incumbents, not dilute voting strength of minority groups, and not create a substantial negative effect on any specific political party. So those are your watchwords and watch points that you want to make sure as you go through and look at scenarios. So Nate, let's start off looking at scenario C's map. Okay, we're going to start with the inset of Flagstaff because those particular precincts have greater numbers, but they're much smaller. So we're going to start off with the changes that scenario C brings from the current county supervisor boundaries. So I'm going to go by with those changes one by one, and Nate is going to show you with his cursor where those changes happen. Nate, our first change is at precinct 8 in Flagstaff. That is going to go in scenario C, it will go from District 1 currently to District 2. That's precinct 8. Flagstaff will go from District 1 to District 2. Next one is Flagstaff 17. Precinct 17 will go from District 2 to District 4. Thank you. And then precinct 18 in Flagstaff will go from District 2 to District 4. In scenario C, precinct 23 in Flagstaff will go from District 3 to District 2. Then precinct 41 in Blue Ridge down to the southeast will go from District 4 to District 2. Then Nate, we're going to go up to 43 in Cameron. Precinct 43 in Cameron will go from District 4 to District 5. Then we go to precinct 52 in Fernwood. Precinct 52 in Fernwood will go from District 2 to District 5. Then we go from District 53 in Forest Lakes. So we'll go to the southeast. Precinct 53 in Forest Lakes will go from District 4 to District 2. Then we go up north to the Grand Canyon. Precinct 59 in the Grand Canyon, under scenario C, would go from District 1 to District 5. Then we go over to the east to Inscription House. Precinct 61 at Inscription House will go from District 5 to District 4. Then down to Mormon Lake, Nate. Precinct 63, Mormon Lake, will go from District 4 to District 2. Then we go back up north and east to Navajo Mountain. Precinct 71 at Navajo Mountain will go from District 5 to District 4. Then we go to Ranches North, Nate. Precinct 81, Ranches North, will go from District 1 to District 3. And it's going to pop up there. There it does. Precinct 84, Ranches South, then. That will go from District 1 to District 3. That's the final changes for scenario C from the current supervisory boundaries. After that, after we do that, we want to do our test under the demographics to see if it meets our target populations. And you can see for all of the districts that scenario C does comply with the target populations for each. Then you want to look at your total populations. How does that change? So it shows you under the census for 2020 how the total population changed and where it changed from 2010. That line showed 2010, and there it is now. Great. For each district, you can see the changes in total population over the last 10 years. Then you'll go to total voting population and how that changed from 2010 to 2020. Again, the lines on the far right are going to be your 2010, and then you'll see the 2020 bars. And finally, the column for registered voters by party affiliation. You'll see the changes on that as well. Thanks, Nate. We'll go now to scenario D1 and the changes that scenario D1 has against the current supervisor boundaries. We'll start at precinct 8 in Flagstaff, Nate. That will go from District 1 to District 2. Next, we'll go to precinct 18, Nate. That will go from District 2 to District 4. Thank you. Then we're looking at precinct 19 in Flagstaff. That will go from District 2 to District 4. Then we're looking at precinct 20 in Flagstaff. That goes from District 3 to District 2. Thanks, Nate. Then we're at Cameron, Nate. Precinct 43 at Cameron will go from District 4 to District 5. Then we're up to precinct 52 at Fernwood, Nate. Well, precinct 52 at Fernwood goes from District 2 to District 5. Next, we have Inscription House, Nate. Precinct 61 at Inscription House goes from District 5 to District 4. Then we'll go to more down south to Mormon Lake. Precinct 63 at Mormon Lake will go from District 4 to District 3. Then we have Precinct 71 at Navajo Mountain. Precinct 71 at Navajo Mountain goes from District 5 to District 4. Then we're at Ranches, Nate. Precinct 81, Ranches North, goes from District 1 to District 3. And Precinct 84, Ranches South, goes from District 1 to District 3. And that is the final changes to scenario D1 from the current supervisor boundaries. And then we want to check the demographics and note that all populations for each district on the far left-hand side are within target numbers. Then you can check total population changes in each district and then total voting population with this scenario, And then finally, registered votees by party affiliation for scenario D1. Thanks, Nate. Next, we'll go to scenario D2. And we'll start again at the inset of Flagstaff with Precinct 8 in Flagstaff. Precinct 8 in Flagstaff will again go from District 1 to District 2. The next one is Precinct 18 in Flagstaff from District 2 to District 4. Then Precinct 19 in Flagstaff from District 2 to District 4. Then Precinct 20 in Flagstaff from District 3 to District 2. Thanks, Nate. Then we have Cameron, Nate. Precinct 43 in Cameron will go from District 4 to District 5. There we go. Then we're up to Fernwood, Nate. Precinct 52 in Fernwood is District 2 to District 5. That goes from District 2 to District 5. Then we go up to Grand Canyon. Precinct 59 in Grand Canyon goes from District 1 to District 5 under scenario D2. Then up to this Inscription House, Nate, we go from Precinct 61 Inscription House in District 5 to District 4. Then we have Precinct 63 at Mormon Lake, Nate. Precinct 63 at Mormon Lake goes from District 4 to District 3. Then we're back up to Navajo Mountain, Nate. Precinct 71, Navajo Mountain, goes from District 5 to District 4. And Ranches next, Nate. Precinct 81, Ranches North, goes from District 1 to District 3. We'll wait on that one. Great, thank you. And then Ranches South, Precinct 84, Ranches South, goes from District 1 to District 3. And that is the final change under scenario D1 to the current supervisory districts. And then we double check the demographics and make sure the population meets the targets, and it sure does. And then we check the population differences with this scenario. And then the total voting population differences. And again, the registered voters by party affiliation under scenario D2. Thanks, Nate. Great. And now we're going to do scenario E. Thanks, Nate. We're going to start with Precinct 10 in Flagstaff. There's the Flagstaff inset. Precinct 10 is well where we'll start. Flagstaff Precinct 10 goes from District 1. We'll wait for the numbers to pop. There you are. It goes from District 1 to District 2. Then we're at Flagstaff Precinct 16 under scenario E. It goes from District 2 to District 1. Precinct 18, we'll wait on that one. Precinct 18 in Flagstaff will go from District 2 to District 4. Then 23 in Flagstaff, Nate. Precinct 23 in Flagstaff goes from District 3 to District 2. Then Precinct 29 in Flagstaff goes from District 1 to District 3. Thanks, Nate. Then we're at Blue Ridge, Nate. Precinct 41 in Blue Ridge goes from District 4 to District 2. There we are. Goes from District 4 to District 2. And then we'll go back up to Cameron, Nate. Precinct 43 in Cameron goes from District 4 to District 5. Next, we're at Fernwood, Nate. Precinct 52 in Fernwood goes from District 2 to District 4. Then Forest Lakes, Nate, down south and east to Forest Lakes, goes Precinct 53 in Forest Lakes, goes from District 4 to District 2. Then we go back north and center to Grand Canyon, Precinct 59 in Grand Canyon, Precinct 59 in Grand Canyon goes from District 1 to District 5. Then we're at Mormon Lake, Nate. Precinct 63 at Mormon Lake. There it is, goes from District 4 to District 2. Then we go back down to Ranches, Nate. Precinct 81, Ranches North, goes from District 1 to District 3. And Precinct 84, Ranches South, goes from District 1 to District 3. And that is the final change in scenario E from the current boundaries. And we look at the demographics to check our populations to verify that they are within the target populations in this new scenario, and they are. Again, we check the population differences between 2010 and 2020 for this scenario, and the total voting population for scenario E under scenario E rather. And then finally, the registered voters by party affiliation under scenario E for each district. Thanks, Nate. And our final scenario that we'll go over is scenario F. And our first change, Nate, will be precinct 8 in Flagstaff. Precinct 8 in Flagstaff will change from District 1 to District 2. Precinct 10 in Flagstaff will change from District 1 to District 2. Then 18, Nate. Precinct 18 in Flagstaff will change from District 2 to District 4. And then Precinct 23 in Flagstaff. Precinct 23 in Flagstaff will change from District 3 to District 4. Then we're in Blue Ridge, Nate. Precinct 41 in Blue Ridge will change from District 4 to District 3. Then in Cameron, back up north. Precinct 43 in Cameron will change from District 4 to District 5. Then we're at Fernwood, Nate. Precinct 52 in Fernwood. 52 in Fernwood will go from District 2 to District 5. Then we are at Forest Lakes, Nate. Precinct 53 in Forest Lakes will transfer from District 4 to District 3. Then we're back up north to Inscription House. Precinct 61 in Inscription House will transfer from District 5 to District 4. We're at Mormon Lake then, Precinct 63. Precinct 63 will go from District 4 to District 3. Thank you. Then we're back up north to Navajo Mountain. Precinct 71 at Navajo Mountain will go from District 5 to District 4. And our final change under scenario F will be Ranches South, Nate. Precinct 84, Ranches South. I'll wait here a second. Precinct 84, Ranches South will transfer from District 1 to District 3 under scenario F. Then we'll again check our population and other demographics under scenario F. And we see that it also meets population. Next, you'll see the total population changes under scenario F from 2010, from the current. Then you'll see the total voting population from the current under scenario F. And finally, the registered voters by party affiliation under scenario F as in comparison to the current districts. Thanks, Nate. So those are the scenarios and how to use the tool and read it. Nate, if we can go back to the page where they can see the supplemental information, that would be really helpful, I think. They can see the sheet that we just used to read off the changes.
Yeah,
Are we waiting?
that might be easy if someone else is. I stop sharing and
Okay.
someone shares the. I'm not on the.
Oh, you're
store
not
now.
using
Yeah,
the other
sorry.
one? Okay. Give me just a second here.
Apologize.
Oh, that's okay. No worries. We're just about there. Apologize. Give me a second to bring it up here. We've got a little slowness from our internet provider today, so we apologize if there is any slowness for you, but we will get there. And
Sue, I can go ahead and share my screen.
I've got it up too. I've got it up here. I'll just share my screen. Please let me know if you can see that. Is it visible yet?
No, not yet.
Okay, I think we've got it now. Do we?
No, Sue.
I can try sharing again if you want. I got it.
Can you see it now?
Okay.
Darn it.
Nate, go for it.
Okay, go Nate. Apologies.
There you go.
Can you see it now?
Okay, now you've got it, Sue. Go ahead.
Okay, great. Thank you. Just takes a village, everybody. You can see this is a Coconino County Redistricting 2022 homepage. So this is coconino.az.gov/redistricting. So at the top line, you'll see the redistricting scenarios. You click on that and you will see just exactly what we just went through. It's taken just a second to see it. There we go. And you can manipulate the tool in the same way that Nate just showed you. And you click this little corner and you look at the demographics. It comes up, just a slight delay, and then you can click out at the upper right corner. So from there, I wanted to show you the supplemental scenario information that we were just using. Map packet will be all the printable maps, should you wish to print any of the maps that we have in the scenarios. You can get a precinct list for each scenario in a PDF format. So that is the list that we just read from. And you can see it briefly. There you go. Not always easy. You see the precincts on the far left, and then the existing district next to it, and then each one of the scenarios where that precinct will lie. You will also see a legend on the far right that shows where the precincts changed under those 2 times that we did do the adjustments to the precincts. Some were boundary changes, splits, or merges, or renames. And that was the statutory requirement in October. And then again, based on the IRC's changes in I believe at the start of February. So with that, we will click off that one. Oops. But those are the supplemental materials that we have available. And with that, I think we've concluded a display of our tool and of the scenarios, Mr. County Manager.
Okay, so let's try this again. And I apologize for jumping the gun a few minutes ago. So Mr. Gorman, I want to pull you back up if you wanted to continue on your comments, sir.
Thank you, County Manager and Madam Chair, the supervisors and members of the county supervisors. And thank you for the presentation. Just some points about the mapping activities first. It looks like there's some new precinct boundaries that have been instituted by Coconino County, which is not a part of the software that my office uses. My office uses Maptitude.
Okay.
So there's some places where we can't bridge some of the districts at all because of the changes that may have occurred. So if I could get a copy of your new precinct boundaries via shapefile,
Okay.
that would be very helpful for my office. The second part is that as we submitted the map, as you put the community of interest as one of the concerns that you have and you wish to satisfy, particularly on the Navajo Nation, there's always ever since the state has been instituted, the counties do not respect the Navajo Nation chapter boundaries. These are political subdivisions, much the same as various others, like the counties across the nation. These chapters are boundaries drawn from which people vote. So the result of these voting activities is that Navajo voters are often disenfranchised across the Navajo Nation. This is not just in Arizona, it's in Utah, New Mexico. New Mexico made the decision to require the counties to assess the new precinct boundaries, to assess those possibilities in which to align those boundaries with the chapter boundaries. And we were very successful in one county that have affiliated their precinct boundaries with the chapter boundaries. We also respectfully request that that same respect and gratitude be extended by your county, as we're requesting Navajo County and also Apache County to do likewise. There's tremendous amount of disenfranchisement that occurs when voting activities occurs because of the non-alignment of the precinct boundaries. And then if I could also have an opportunity to visit with your staff, maybe tomorrow, to go over why these changes are made, particularly in districts 5 and 4, and the rationale behind these changes that have been made. And then finally, the map that my office submitted is carefully designed to ensure the community of interest is a part of the scenario. And then secondly, making the effort to meet the Voting Rights Act, Section 2, delusion issues and concerns about the ability for Native Americans to elect a candidate of their choice, and the aspects of the land that belong to the Navajo people are part of the proposed District 5 as it extends further to westward. And none of those scenarios that you illustrated represent those kinds of concerns that the Navajo people have and the Navajo government have. And then finally, the District 4 is making the effort to maintain the 30 percentile Native American voting age population by increasing it to, I believe, 33 or 32 or 33% Native American voting age population. So those are some of the remedial concerns that my office has and the Navajo Nation has. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
Thank you, Mr. Gorman, for your comments. Appreciate that. Okay. Others on the with us tonight that would like to make a comment, if you can just show your hand, and we're able to see it here. So I'm going to call on Clarence Vale to share her comments. Ms. Vale, the floor is yours. If you could unmute yourself. There you go.
Hello, good evening, Board of Supervisors. I'm Clarinda Vale. I don't know if you need my address, but I'm used to that. I'm 120 Shimmy Lane, Tusayan, Arizona, 86023. And I speak tonight as both a citizen of Coconino County and as the proud mayor of Tusayan. You will also be receiving a letter from the town manager, Charlie Hendricks, and myself, but we didn't want to miss this opportunity to speak at one of your public hearings, as this is a vital concern to our community. Regarding the new proposed Coconino County Board of Supervisors districts, we oppose any map that separates the Grand Canyon South Rim Village and Havasupai tribal lands from the town of Tusayan. It has long been understood that we are one community and we should have the same supervisor representative. Coconino County, Grand Canyon Unified School District, Kaibab National Forest, Grand Canyon National Park, the town of Tusayan, Tusayan Fire District, Tusayan Sanitary District, Coconino County Board of Supervisors, and more have all formally and in various ways recognized this long-standing community relationship between Grand Canyon Village, Tusayan Valley, and Havasupai tribal lands. In the legal guidelines for your redistricting, it says in part that you must preserve communities of interest, maintain traditional, geographical, and political boundaries, and base the new plan on existing districts to the extent possible. To meet those three requirements, you must keep Grand Canyon Village in the same district as Tusayan. Grand Canyon Village and Tusayan are longstanding communities of interest and are actually one community. Tusayan has the same zip code and phone prefix as Grand Canyon Village. Those items alone that show that we are one community. Many of us from Tusayan, including me, even have our personal and business P.O. boxes and all of our mail delivery in the village because as Tusayan residents, we are considered Grand Canyon residents. We also share a unified school district, law enforcement services, emergency services, and many Havasupai tribal members consider the Grand Canyon Village and Tusayan areas as their home on top of the canyon. If you split Tusayan from Grand Canyon Village, you will not maintain traditional geographical and political boundaries or existing district boundaries. Our school district boundary, which has been the same for many years, includes Tusayan and Supai camp lands. So with those things said, we strongly support Map F, as we feel it does not violate those requirements that your board must meet. I thank you for considering our comments, and thank you very much for our service to our great Coconino County.
Thank you, Mayor. Next on the list, Charlie Hendricks. Charlie? You can unmute yourself. No need to unmute yourself, Charlie.
There we go. Can you hear me?
Yep, you're good to go.
Thank you. I just want to mirror and support Mayor Vale's comments, and I would just add one thing. There's been a lot of study going into what defines a community of interest. And there are two additional points I just want to bring out in addition to what Mayor Vale said. One of the things that they've talked a lot about is that communities of interest are usually defined on the local level by what those local communities define. And if you look to us as local people, we define ourselves as one community. Even our, if you go to our 4th of July parade last year, our theme was one community. We look at ourselves as one community and we're inseparable. And part of the reason for that is one of the second parameters in defining communities of interest is where they look in times of disaster, where they get support from in times of disaster. And when COVID hit, the Grand Canyon Village, the town of Tusayan, and the town and the community of Valley all had to depend on each other because there were no other facilities, there were no other sources to look for support geographically or right nearby. So we are each other's support. And so to segregate us from each other would be very, very difficult. We are a community of interest. And so we just felt compelled to share that with you today.
Great. Thank you so much. Other comments from our guests this evening? John Vale, if you could unmute yourself, Mr. Vale, and your floor is yours. There you go.
Hi there, my name's John Vale. I live at 120 Shimmy Lane in Tusayan, Arizona. I'm the vice chair of the Tusayan Sanitary District and the chairman of the Tusayan Fire District. And I would just like to say that I am not in support of any scenario where Tusayan, Grand Canyon, and the Havasupai camp are not in the same district. We are contiguous and are one community. Separating us from the same district will have a long-term negative effect. And so I would just like you to consider my comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vale. Appreciate it. Other comments from guests this evening? I do not see any. Again, I'm going to make another call for anyone with us this evening to share your thoughts. Again, you can share those through our website, redistricting at coconino.az.gov, and go into our website. And those comments, any thoughts, even those that spoke this evening and want to share additional thoughts, you can share those anytime. And so please feel free to take advantage of that opportunity. And please, we welcome your thoughts, because this is a process we do once every 10 years. And this is my 4th redistricting cycle at the county. And so do the math and you'll be able to just know how old I am. Okay. Okay, I'm not seeing any other hands being raised. Let me just double check.
Almost as old as the rocks behind me.
Thank you. Thank you, District 3. Okay, with that, I'm going to say that all of the folks here tonight have been provided the opportunity. We appreciate those individuals that have shared your thoughts with us today. And again, even if you've provided thoughts this evening, you feel free to attend other sessions as well, because we will be doing the session next week as well. And so at this point in time, Madam Chair, I'm going to turn it back to you for closing comments.
Yes, thank you, County Manager, and thank you, staff. As you can see, that Coconino County and our staff have worked very, very diligently to develop these 5 scenarios consistent with criteria for redistricting. And now it's going to be hearing from you, and then we will, as a board, make that decision on our redistricting map. We so appreciate your time, your commitment to Coconino County, your commitment to make sure that all the residents of Coconino County are considered and heard from. And again, thank you so much. We do have one more meeting, one more public hearing, but our website for written comments will remain open until April 12th, which is the date that the Board of Supervisors will make a decision on their redistricting map and on the districts. So thank you for being here with us this evening. Thank you also for your interest, and please make your written comments. And with that, County Manager, I think that we've done our job here tonight, and we look forward to receiving your comments. So thank you all for being with us this evening.
Thanks so much. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
Well, thanks, staff.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.